Yes.
I don't have any questions, Mr. Gray, but I have some comments.
All right, but I tell you, at this time, then I'll entertain a motion from the council, and then we'll discuss it. Bear in mind, this is only to put a motion on the floor, and then discussion will take place.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I think pretty much it's been laid out that we're going to accept the analysis as presented. And while we can certainly respond to what it tells us, and I think we should, along with a lot of our community partners, we cannot change what it says. I certainly think that the city, armed with this information, we need to get out and share this information with our community partners. It's actually some very fascinating statistics and gives us a lot of insight. But with that, I'd like to make a motion that we move this thing forward and approve and accept the presentation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Okay, now discussion.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor, for making copies of this available to everybody. And I won't go through everything that we discussed Tuesday night, but I think we all agree that there was a lot of information that needs to be covered, and we need to cover a lot of information before we could say that we approve this thing. We have a lot of people in the community now that are interested in what is in this thing. I think most of y'all can agree over the last, pretty much since I've been on council, it's almost been like a little bit Hollywood. We got the AI, everybody just participating in it. We finally have a lot of people who are interested and want to participate in this and be aware of what's in the plan and participate in it. And I would like to have people, pretty much like we have here, be a part of the committee and let's go through this and look at what we have. And let's not rush to a judgment like we did with our LDR and pass it and then have a lot of mistakes made and we have to come back and try to correct it after the fact. So I would like to ask us to postpone actually adopting the plan for a specific period of time so that we can just review it a little bit and then come back and accept it. And all I'm asking is they're supposed to give us a little time to review it and we can come back at a later date and accept the plan. I don't know if there's any big hurry, maybe help me out in terms of what date this has to be done and we can review it, and I would love to have them work with us, and I got a lot of people, like I said, that want to participate and work with us on it, and we can work with the city and try to get the best possible plan that we can. And I think this will be one of the best ways possible to involve as many citizens we can and get the best input. I believe this could be one of the best ways possible to make our city one of the best cities in this area by following this kind of plan and actually having people who are willing and wanting to participate now. In the past, we had people who were kind of lackadaisical about participating now, but we actually have people who want to participate, who want to know what's going on with this, and want to be a part of it. And I think we should allow that to happen. And that's what I'm asking council now this afternoon. Just allow us a little time to allow these citizens to be a part of it. Let's look at it because we just got it today, 100-page document. And I think it's going to be hard for us to digest it.
James, you understand there's no plan in this book. There's no plan whatsoever. It's only an analysis of what our situation is in this city. So we can adopt this and it won't affect anything. Then we can attack the individual things with a committee or whatever that needs to be formed to look at the situations to determine how we're going to act with those things. But this manual has no plan to it, so it's really no, it doesn't do any good to postpone it. All it is the guys, the J, whatever they are, that did this, all they did was go through the community and give us the facts and figures.
Right.
So there's no plan in here.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is their analysis might be different from the analysis of what the community.
Well, I think that's probably true in some cases.
And that's why with the committee, you can look at the analysis and come up with a better analysis. That's all I'm saying there. And I don't think it's being unfair to ask. And I don't see the hurry. Why is it hurry to do it now when River said it's not a big hurry.
Oh.
The only thing I would caution, and I'm one of the first people that would admit a shortfall, but I'm not as acclimated with these federal regulations, and of course that's why we hired William, because he's an expert. And so he is the one that has made sure that this analysis follows these mandatory code regulations that are in place. And so again, I don't really know how, other than the data and the analysis that's presented, how we could change that any based on the fact that he's utilized the mandatory regulations to prepare the analysis.
And I'm not saying change it, but allow us a chance to look at it.
All right, we've got a motion and a second on the floor, so if you want to do that, then you need to enter a substitute motion. And at that point in time, we vote on that and determine if substitute motion carries and go from there.
That's a little conversation. To me, it's great information that we need to use to formulate things. This is just what will be presented to HUD that came out of the analysis for occupancy. But it's certainly a lot of work that we need to do, and I don't believe that the citizen group has the expertise to come in and change the analysis. The analysis, it is what it is. I would think that we need to form a committee to us to try to work on these developments that recognize which is going to take some time. So this is all. And I mean, I can see what the citizens we need to come in and try to change this, what he had presented to us. What I think we need to do is use this information to go out and educate the community and parents that the thing that we need to do.
And once again, I try to not be difficult, but let's go back to the treatment committee and the same analysis. We're not going to change it. There's a committee put together to look at it and review it. And just say, oh, this is a recommendation. We're not going to change it. It's a recommendation. There may be something that's good, maybe something that's bad, but at least allow us a chance to look at this plan. We have to have a chance to even look at it. And nobody on this council has even had a chance. I may be wrong, but if I'm wrong, tell me.
I looked for mine yesterday and today.
You read this whole 100-page document.
100. This is the one I got. Yeah. Now that doesn't mean that there may be some errors, but I think these are the professionals that were hired, and I think this is a great compilation of information for us to start. If by chance we were to find something along the way, to bring it back to their attention, but I doubt seriously that there will be anything. This will give us a starting point right away. Reason through that and find any impediments that we go ahead and start attacking. And that's where your committee that will be formed, they're not wasting their time, they're attacking the problem right away. It's already been identified through this, and then if we find more along the way, then we'll attack those at that time.
So what I'm saying, what I'm being approved of,
The
It's
analysis.
an analysis.
it's
It's
not
not, it's not.
an analysis, it's an audit. It's an audit, right?
It's an analysis of impediments, and you would accept it. I think what's interesting, if I could interject, I think in many ways y'all are all really the same. You want to accomplish the same thing. It's a matter of preference, whether you want to accept this report tonight or accept it at a later date. But I think everyone is saying they agree that once the report is accepted, and I think he has made a statement, you cannot change his report. Those are his professional findings, just like the auditors tonight. We may wish we could change something in the audit, but we cannot. We voted to accept it. We vote to accept this, and I think everybody is agreeing to appoint a committee and then begin to implement the recommendations and any additional recommendations that the members of that committee might have. I think in many ways, y'all are all saying the same thing. It's a matter of whether you accept it tonight and whether you accept it at another date. But again, no one will be able to change his findings unless you find an error that he has made.
And how will we know unless we look at it? How will we know?
Well, his report would go to HUD, and they would review it and determine if it meets all the criteria. Then the recommendations in it, and that committee will develop and work to implement, will be done over 5 years, over the next 5 years. So that's what the analysis of impediment requires. So I think it's purely your choice whether you accept it tonight or not. But I think everyone's in agreement with what I hear, appointing the group and beginning to work with them and the recommendations and other recommendations that that committee might have. So perhaps next meeting we need to look at appointing a committee. If that's what we can't do that tonight simply because we're not prepared and don't, haven't had an opportunity to talk about that.
This gives us an outline to go by, to study the situation and to take action on it. And it could be item by item, or it could be location by location. But all this is it serves the purpose of giving us an outline which we haven't had to work with.
Mr. Mayor, since that was my motion that's sitting on the table, I do want to kind of just follow up with a lot that's been said that, and while I would, and as I put forth in the rationale of my motion, we need to carry this forward. But to try and develop postpone accepting the analysis to draft a plan, Councilman, I did not read every single page, but I read a bunch of it. There's a lot to get your head around here. And I'm saying that in that I don't think you can come up with a plan in less than a year. It's too much. The obstacles are too big. There's a lot of work that we have to go into developing a plan to overcome some of the obstacles that are identified within this analysis. So we can't wait a year. We've got 100 grants out there, and it's not going to change this. So that's why I say, Mr. Mayor, whether there is no objection, to move this thing forward, let's have a vote.
But let me one more point. We do annual action plans. When we go through this, we do one plan every year. Am I correct, Mayor?
Yes.
Annual action plan. We look at this and then we develop annual action plan based on what we come up with. But all I'm saying is, this was introduced to us yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to go through the whole document, so that was just my point. So if we move forward with it, that was just my recommendation.
Is it true, Mr. Mayor, that unless the city council mayor accepts the audit, it can't be submitted to HUD to start the process?
Right.
And I'm not sure I haven't studied to see what the timetable is for submission, but, no need to waste the time.
Any further discussion?
Now I'd like to call the question.
Question's been called. All in favor of the motion? All right, all in favor of the question being called, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. We call the question. All right, all in favor of the motion as Tim presented it, to adopt this analysis of impediments, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Hanson, your report.
Mr. Mayor, just for some guidance on that, of course, now it will be signed and sent to HUD, and I'm sure that will take a period of time for them to review it and determine whether they accept it. But is it the desire of the council then for us to begin the work to bring a structure to you to appoint a committee, perhaps in 30 days, because HUD will have to review that? I just want to get that on the record, Councilman, right here. That's what you're saying, if everyone's in agreement with that, and we're going to work to bring you a structure where we can begin this process.